Let's tackle a really important question about your finances, one that, honestly, a lot of people get wrong. We're going to get to the bottom of who really gets your money when you're gone, and more importantly, how you can make sure your wishes are followed down to the last penny. Okay, so let's start with what most of us think is true. You've gone through the trouble, you've filled out the forms, you've named a nominee for your bank account, your insurance, all of it. So that person gets the money, right? It seems pretty straightforward. But is that really how it works? And here's where things get tricky. The answer, surprisingly, is not necessarily. Believing that your nominee is automatically the owner is a huge misunderstanding, and it can cause some serious and frankly heartbreaking problems for your family. So, what's going on here? Well, the whole problem starts because we tend to mix up two totally different legal roles. It's an easy mistake to make, but trust me, it can be a very costly one, both financially and emotionally. A lot of us use the words nominee and legal heir like they mean the same thing, but legally speaking, they are worlds apart. They have completely different jobs and different rights. And this confusion, right here, is where all the trouble begins. All right, so to really get this, let's break it down and define who's who. Once you understand the specific role each one plays, it'll be crystal clear how to make sure your money goes exactly where you want it to. Okay, so first up, the nominee. Think of a nominee as simply a caretaker. A trustee, their only job is to collect your money from the bank or the insurance company. That's it. This just makes the process quicker for the financial institutions. It does not make the nominee the owner. They are just holding on to the assets for a short time. Now, the legal heir, that's a whole different story. This is the person or people who have the actual legal right to own your assets. If you don't have a will, the law decides who your legal heirs are, usually your spouse, your kids, or your parents. They are the true inheritors. So let's put this side by side to make it super clear. The nominee is like a courier. Their job is just to pick up the package and get it moving quickly. But the legal heir, they're the final destination, the actual owner who gets to keep the package. One is just about making the transfer easy, the other is about final ownership. And look, this isn't just some boring legal technicality we're talking about. This little misunderstanding can explode into real, painful family fights. And the worst part is, they are almost always completely avoidable. Let me paint a picture for you, one that happens all the time. A parent names their oldest kid as the nominee, just for convenience. Then the parent passes away, but they never made a will. So the oldest child collects the money as the nominee, but guess what? The other siblings are also legal heirs, and they have a right to their share. If the nominee thinks all that money is theirs, well, you can see how the fight starts. So, how do you stop this from happening? How do you guarantee your wishes are respected and your family doesn't end up in a fight? Well, thankfully, there's a very, very powerful solution. Here is the most important thing you need to remember from all of this. A clear, valid will is the ultimate trump card. It decides who the real owner is, and it overrides everything else. It overrides the nominee, and it overrides the standard succession laws. Your will is the final word, period. I love this quote because it just nails it. A nomination is there for speed. It makes sure your money doesn't get tied up in red tape. But a will is there for peace. It makes sure your family has nothing to fight about. You see? You really need both to have a complete plan. So, after hearing all this, what should you do right now? Let's boil it down to a couple of simple, concrete actions you can take to protect yourself and your family. It really comes down to these two straightforward steps. First, go back and check the nominees on all of your accounts. Life changes, Make sure they're up to date. And second, and this is the big one, make a proper will. Don't just assume your nominee will sort it out. Your will is your voice after you're gone, so make sure it's heard loud and clear. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. It's your money, your hard-earned assets, your legacy. Have you really taken the steps to make sure there's no confusion, no room for arguments? Have you truly decided who the final owner will be?